You're lying face down in an open field in France. It's November 20th, 1944, 7 in the morning, and you're learning what death sounds like. A mortar shell just landed where that soldier was lying. He's not there anymore. Just a crater and red mist. Another shell brackets your position on the left. The man over there, Lowell, is laughing hysterically, blood streaming from shrapnel wounds, his mind broken by shock. You're pressing your nose into the earth, literally digging into the dirt with your face, trying to disappear, trying to become part of the ground itself. The Germans are walking their mortar fire back and forth across this field with mechanical precision. They've done this before. They know exactly how to turn an open field into a killing ground. You're 19 years old. 5 months ago, you were drinking orange soda at the PX with your buddy, laughing at the other soldiers getting drunk on beer. Yesterday, you were a replacement, fresh from the depot, trying to learn everyone's name. Today, you're discovering that war is random death falling from the sky while you try to push your body through solid earth. A voice cuts through the explosions.
Let's go, men! Move forward!
What do? Every instinct, every fiber of self-preservation screams at you to stay down, to remain frozen. But others are rising, stumbling forward through the smoke and chaos. Do you stay with your face in the dirt? Do you stand up and run toward whatever horror waits ahead? In the next few seconds, you'll make a choice that determines whether you become a combat veteran or another white cross in a French field. This was the reality for Maurice Meyers, an Orthodox Jewish kid from Plainfield, New Jersey, who found himself in the middle of one of the most brutal campaigns of World War II. Welcome to POV World War II. I'm your host, Fernando Prieto. And today you're going to experience the Second World War through the eyes of a young man whose journey took him from the safety of small-town America to the blood-soaked fields of France and Germany. You'll feel the terror of walking through a minefield while your friends disappear in clouds of dirt and flesh. You'll carry a 40-pound radio through enemy fire, following a captain who might be leading you to glory or death. You'll discover what it means to fight alongside men who hate you for your religion, yet would die protecting you. What's it like when your own army's anti-Semitism feels almost as dangerous as German bullets? How do you maintain your faith, your identity, your sanity when the world has descended into mechanized slaughter? And how does a brief encounter with a 7-year-old French orphan become a story of deep friendship and love that spans nearly 50 years? Get ready. This is Maurice's story. Today, it becomes yours. It's 1939. Your starting freshman year at Plainfield High School in New Jersey, on the same week Germany invades Poland. The war that will consume your youth has just begun, but you don't know that yet. You're 14 years old, living in an Orthodox Jewish household where life revolves around ritual, tradition, and family. Your father came from Russia when he was 13, part of that great wave of Jewish immigration fleeing pogroms and persecution at the turn of the century. He speaks broken English, runs a struggling coal business that barely survived the Depression. You've watched him lose everything. The beautiful house on Sheridan Avenue, the real estate investments, the dignity of prosperity. Now you rent a house in the West End, and some nights there's barely food on the table. But poverty is relative when everyone around you is poor. Your neighborhood is a miniature United Nations. Irish Catholics on one side, your grandfather on the other. Polish twins down the street, black families around the corner. Nobody has money, but nobody seems to care what religion or color anyone else is. You play together, fight together, grow up together in this dense urban ecosystem. Your mother keeps a kosher home with religious devotion. You have never eaten a meal outside your house. Not once. Not at a friend's house, not at a restaurant, nowhere. The dietary laws aren't just rules. They're the architecture of your existence. Meat dishes and dairy dishes never mix. The Sabbath means no lights, no radio, no writing, no money, no anything from Friday night to Saturday night. While other kids go to movies on Saturday, you sit in synagogue, then walk home, no driving allowed, and read or talk or simply exist in the bubble of sacred time. Can you imagine that level of restriction? Can you feel the weight of tradition that shapes every single day? You attend Hebrew school 3 afternoons a week plus Sunday mornings. You belong to the Young Watchmen, a Zionist youth group where you sing songs about Palestinian pioneers. The pushka boxes sit on the mantle, little metal containers with slots for coins, one for planting trees in Palestine, one for Hadassah Hospital. Every week you drop in pennies, learning charity before you learn algebra. Your parents are ardent Zionists. To them, Palestine is a dream of Jewish safety in a world that has never quite provided it. December 7th, 1941. You're at the Jewish Community Center, waiting for your girlfriend to finish swimming. She's from Somerville, and these Sunday afternoons are your weekly date. Watching her swim, then sitting and talking for an hour before she goes home. The radio interrupts its regular program. Pearl Harbor is under attack. The United States is at war. How do you react? You're 16. The draft age is 18. 2 years feels like forever when you're young. The war will surely be over by then, won't it? Nobody fights for more than 2 years in the modern world, do they? Your brother enlists in the Air Corps sometime after Pearl Harbor. Your parents accept it with resignation. This is what people do now. Every family sacrifices. The blue star flags appear in windows. 1 star for each family member serving. Some will turn to gold stars before this ends. High school becomes strange. Your teachers introduce physical fitness programs, obstacle courses after school, calisthenics in the morning. You're being prepared for something. But what exactly? You collect newspaper clippings about the war for history class. Every student picks a country to follow. While others grab Germany and England, you choose Italy. Less obvious, but still important. You dutifully clip articles about battles you don't understand and places you can't pronounce. Do you pay attention to what's happening to Jews in Europe? The news is vague, fragmentary. Resettlement in the East, labor camps, ghettos. Nobody is talking about systematic extermination. How could they? It's beyond imagination. Your concern is more immediate. Every boy in your class knows he's draft fodder. College prep courses seem like a cruel joke. You're not preparing for college, you're preparing for war. Your senior year arrives, 1942-43. You're in the first all-war class, starting high school as the war began, ending as it rages across the globe. Boys disappear from class as they turn 18, some getting their diplomas anyway, honorary graduates who might never come home to collect them. The girls organize war bond drives and knit socks for soldiers. Everyone pretends life is normal while knowing it absolutely isn't. What are your dreams? You want to be a doctor or maybe a dentist. You're not even sure of the difference. You want to go to college to escape the cycle of poverty your family knows too well. But June 1943 brings your 18th birthday. July brings draft registration. And August brings a bus to Fort Dix. Your dreams will have to wait. Can you feel the clock ticking down? Every day of normalcy is numbered, measured, finite. Your mother watches you with eyes that never quite cry but never quite smile either. Your father, who rarely speaks about emotions, tells you to be strong, to remember you're a Jew, to come home safe. The last Sabbath before you leave, the rabbi gives a special blessing for boys going to war. The congregation, people who've known you since birth, watch as you stand with 2 other 18-year-olds, receiving ancient words of protection in Hebrew. Will those words follow you into battle? Will God watch over you in places where humanity has abandoned all pretense of holiness? August 1943. The bus from Plainfield City Hall to Fort Dix takes 2 hours, but it feels like crossing into another dimension. You're carrying everything you own in a small bag. Around you sit other boys. That's what you all are, boys. Trying to look brave, trying to look ready, failing at both. Fort Dix is chaos. Thousands of new inductees milling around, sergeants screaming orders. The medical exam where you stand naked in lines while bored doctors check for flat feet and hernias. You're issued uniforms that don't fit, assigned a serial number that becomes more important than your name, given shots for diseases you've never heard of. Then comes unexpected hope, the Army Specialized Training Program, ASTP. They need intelligent soldiers for specialized training. Engineers, doctors, linguists, technicians. You test well. You're going to college after all. In uniform maybe, but college nonetheless. First, though, comes 17 weeks of basic infantry training at Fort Benning, Georgia. Can you imagine the culture shock? You've never been south of Plainfield, never been away from home, never eaten non-kosher food. Now you're on a troop train headed into the deep south in August, heading into heat that feels like a physical presence, an oppressive weight that makes breathing difficult. Fort Benning is its own special hell. The temperature hits 100 degrees during the day. At night, it drops so fast you're shivering in your single blanket, sleeping on ground that's somehow both dusty and damp. You're learning to disassemble and clean an M1 rifle, to throw grenades, to read maps, to dig foxholes, to hate drill sergeants with a passion that surprises you. Your drill sergeant is an anomaly, a Jewish misfit with 3 stripes who clearly doesn't belong here. The rumor is they had to take him out to the rifle range before you arrived, to teach him everything because he knew nothing. He's supposed to protect you from the worst of the anti-Semitism, but he can't even protect himself. The Southern corporals under him despise him, and that hatred splashes onto every Jewish recruit in the unit. There's one corporal in particular, a combat veteran with a Purple Heart who takes special pleasure in tormenting Jewish recruits. He assigns them the worst duties, makes them run extra laps, finds reasons to deny them weekend passes. When you excel at rifle marksmanship, earning an expert badge despite never having touched a gun before, he seems personally offended. Jews aren't supposed to be able to shoot, he mutters, loud enough for you to hear. What sustains you through these 17 weeks? Is it pride, stubbornness, the knowledge that failing means going to a regular infantry unit immediately? Your fellow ASTP candidates are all college-bound, or were before the war intervened. You discuss literature during breaks and debate philosophy while cleaning latrines. You're intellectual warriors, citizen soldiers, and you know you're different from the regular army around you. The food situation resolves itself immediately. That first meal, you remember it exactly. You eat everything they put in front of you: pork, beef, mixed milk, and meat. Everything your religious upbringing forbids. You don't hesitate. You don't agonize. You just eat. Some internal switch flips. This is survival, not sacrilege. God will understand, or he won't. But you need strength to survive what's coming. November 1943. Basic training ends. You fired every weapon in the infantry arsenal. Rifles, carbines, mortars, machine guns, bazookas. You've crawled under barbed wire while machine guns fire live ammunition inches over your head. You've thrown live grenades, learned hand-to-hand combat, been gas masked and gassed to teach you respect for chemical weapons. Do you feel like a soldier yet? Or do you just feel like a Jewish kid from New Jersey playing dress-up in an olive drab costume? Indiana University, Bloomington, December 1943. After the dust and heat of Georgia, the campus seems like paradise. Beautiful Gothic buildings, 1,500 whacks and waves in their sharp uniforms, a library with actual books instead of field manuals. For 3 months, you're going to be a college student, even if you're wearing a uniform and marching to classes. But paradise has its own challenges. You're thrown into basic engineering courses, chemistry, physics, advanced mathematics, subjects you've never studied. Your high school prepared you for literature and languages, not equations and formulas. You're drowning from day one, studying until your eyes blur, trying to master in weeks what others learned over years. The professor's situation becomes a microcosm of larger problems. Professor Galbraith teaches geology, a required course that everyone considers useless. Rocks and minerals when you should be learning to build bridges or repair vehicles. One day, a smart aleck Jewish student named Levin challenges something Galbraith says. The professor turns purple with rage. That I have to take this from somebody with a name like Levin? Can you feel the tension in that classroom? Every Jewish student recognizes the moment. It's not about geology or academic disagreement. It's about putting a Jew in his place. You all stand up and walk out together. Report it to your lieutenant. Galbraith gets a talking to, but he still teaches the class. The message is clear. The Army will make token efforts to control anti-Semitism, but don't expect too much. Your roommates resent your study habits. One Saturday night, while you're in the library trying to understand chemical equations, they carry your mattress to the shower and soak it. When you return, exhausted, ready to collapse into bed, you find wet bedding and laughing faces. Is this anti-Semitism? Or just resentment of a grind that makes others look bad? Does it matter? You sleep on the floor and say nothing. A Southern boy from Virginia becomes your closest friend. He's your opposite in geography, but identical in values. Doesn't drink, doesn't chase women, takes his studies seriously. Together you go to the PX and drink orange soda while others get drunk on beer. You're both oddities, outcasts by choice, bonded by your differentness. The waxen waves add a surreal element to campus life. Beautiful women everywhere, but you're too shy, too focused, too orthodox in your own way to pursue them. You watch other soldiers pair off, disappear into town, come back with stories you only half believe. Your virginity isn't just physical, it's comprehensive. You've never drunk alcohol, never smoked, never done anything your mother would disapprove of. February 1944. The dream ends abruptly. The Army needs infantry replacements more than it needs engineers. The entire ASTP program is canceled. Whether you passed or failed your courses becomes irrelevant. Everyone's going to combat units immediately. How do you process this betrayal? The Army promised education, delivered 3 months of struggle, then yanked it away. Some guys protest, write letters to congressmen, complain to officers. You're more pragmatic. If I'm gonna have to go, I might as well go now, you tell yourself. But inside, don't you feel deceived, used, lied to? Camp Campbell, Kentucky, March 1944. Your new unit is everything ASTP wasn't. Regular Army, mostly Southerners, high school dropouts mixed with career soldiers who've been in uniform since the Depression. The anti-Semitism here isn't subtle or academic. It's raw, open, constant. You're assigned to a half-track crew, learning to maintain and operate armored vehicles. At some point, you're sent to the motor pool to learn about Jeeps. You can disassemble and reassemble one completely, every nut and bolt. But the whole experience exists in a fog. Trauma does that sometimes, erases things that shouldn't be forgotten. The training is endless repetition, mock battles where you storm across fields, dismount from half-tracks, assault positions that aren't really there. You sleep in the field, eat from cans, learn to defecate in ditches, and wipe with leaves. This is the Army's final effort to turn civilians into killers, and it's remarkably effective. Your sergeant is regular Army, 18 years in uniform, a lifer who knows nothing but military routine. He's not particularly anti-Semitic, just casually prejudiced against anyone who isn't a Southern white Protestant. You're a college boy, a Jew boy, but also not bad for a Yid. These pass for compliments in his world. One day you're called to see a lieutenant. Your stomach drops. What have you done wrong? But he asks if you're from Plainfield, if you know Bill Ellis. Bill was in your high school class. Turns out this lieutenant is sort of friendly with Bill's sister. He tells you to come see him if you need anything. 6 months pass in Kentucky. Every few weeks, they read a list of names, men being sent overseas as infantry replacements. Each time your name isn't called, you exhale relief tinged with guilt. Others are going to fight while you're still training. But everyone knows it's just postponement, not reprieve. September 1944. Your name is finally on the list. The lieutenant finds you. Do you want to go? What do you say? This man could keep you stateside, safe. The 20th Armored might not deploy for months, maybe never. Do you take the favor? Do you grab this lifeline? If I'm gonna have to go, I might as well go now. Why did you say that? Honor? Fatalism? The knowledge that surviving while others die would be its own kind of death? The lieutenant nods, wishes you luck. Later you'll learn the 20th Armored arrived in Europe one day before Germany surrendered. That sergeant you knew, 18 years regular army, killed himself with his own grenade by accident. You could have been safe. You chose danger instead. October 12th, 1944, Columbus Day. The Queen Mary sits in New York Harbor, painted gray, stripped of luxury, converted into the world's largest troop transport. You're one of 15,000 soldiers boarding, processed like cattle through gangways, assigned to an A-deck cabin that once cost more than your father made in a year. 9 triple bunks crammed into a space meant for 2 people. 18 men's gear piled everywhere. The smell of sweat and fear and seasickness before you even leave port. You're assigned to rotate. 9 men sleep in bunks, while 9 sleep on deck. After the first night, you prefer the deck, under stars, breathing salt air instead of the funk of too many bodies in too small a space. The ship carries everyone: Belgian Marines, Free French, Polish exile forces, USO entertainers, nurses, British commandos, American everything. 5 meal sittings twice a day, color-coded passes determining when you eat. Red might be breakfast at 0500 and dinner at 1400. Blue might eat breakfast at 1500. Yes, 3 in the afternoon. And dinner at 0200. The kitchens never stop. A black market in meal passes develops immediately. You collect all colors, eat when you want. The British crew serves kidney pie and blood pudding alongside American mysteries. You try everything. After breaking kosher laws, what's the difference between this violation and that? The Queen Mary travels alone, too fast for convoy protection, zigzagging across the Atlantic to avoid U-boats. You stand at the stern watching the wake curve and straighten, curve and straighten. 29 knots, someone says. Faster than any submarine. But at night, don't you wonder if some U-boat captain might get lucky? 1 torpedo into 15,000 men. How many would survive? Music erupts spontaneously on deck. Soldiers produce harmonicas, guitars, a saxophone, even an accordion from somewhere. You sit in circles, singing songs from home, songs from the radio, dirty songs someone's uncle taught them. A Polish soldier sings something that makes the other Poles cry. A Belgian Marine teaches everyone a drinking song in Flemish. For moments, you forget where you're going. You write poetry, something you've done since childhood. Verses about the ocean, about fear, about home. You'll carry these poems through combat, lose some, save others. Proof that even in war, you remained human, remained yourself. Do you think about death on this crossing? Do you calculate odds? The infantry replacement depot you're headed to processes thousands weekly. Many are replacing men who aren't coming home. You can do the math. But somehow it remains abstract, theoretical. Death is something that happens to others, never to you. Every soldier believes this until the moment they don't. Gourock, Scotland. Late October 1944. The Queen Mary anchors in a fjord-like inlet, surrounded by mountains that disappear into mist. Small boats ferry you to shore, where Red Cross women serve donuts and coffee that taste like home. The train to England has windows painted black. You travel in darkness, not knowing where you are, where you're going. Someone says Chester. Someone else says nowhere near Chester. It doesn't matter. Your cargo being delivered to a destination you can't control. The camp is tents and mud, rain that never stops, food that makes you long for Fort Benning's mess hall. You're here 5 days that feel like 5 weeks. No passes to town, no entertainment, no nothing except rain and mud and waiting. Rumors fly. You're going to France tomorrow. Next week. Never. The Germans are surrendering, counterattacking, already defeated. Finally, Southampton. The Channel crossing on a transport ship. Everyone seasick in rough water. Vomit and fear mixing in equal measure. 4 months after D-Day, you're approaching the same beaches where thousands died. The fighting has moved inland, but evidence of slaughter remains everywhere. Can you see it? The beach obstacles still twisted from explosions, landing craft rusting in the surf, tanks buried in sand. You climb the cliffs on improved paths, not under fire, but your imagination supplies the machine guns, the mortars, the dying men who came before. At the top, the American cemetery stops you cold. It's already formal, finished, permanent. White crosses in perfect rows stretching beyond sight. Some of these men died 4 months ago. Already in the ground, already history. How long before you join them? A month? A week? Tomorrow? The truck convoy crosses France toward the replacement depot at Epinal. 500 miles through a country that looks like newsreels. Destroyed villages, burned vehicles pushed to roadsides, civilians who stare without expression as you pass. You stop for the night in a field, sleeping on ground that might be mined, might be safe, who knows. That first night in France, you hear it. Artillery fire in the distance, not thunder, though you tell yourself it might be. The sound has a different quality, a man-made violence that makes your chest tight. It's still far away, but you're moving toward it, and it's waiting for you. Epinal, France, November 1944. The replacement depot, Reppel-Deppel, in GI slang, is a human warehouse where soldiers are sorted and shipped like ammunition. You're assigned to the 3rd Infantry Division. The 3rd has been in combat since North Africa. They landed at Anzio, fought up the Italian peninsula, landed in southern France, fought up the Rhone Valley. Your company should have 180 men. They have about 70. You and a handful of other replacements are supposed to make up for 100+ casualties. The veterans look through you, not at you. Why learn your name? You probably won't last a week. They've seen too many replacements die to invest emotion in new faces. They talk among themselves about battles you've only read about, dead friends you'll never meet. But someone notices you have radio training on your record. The captain needs a radio man. You're trained on the SCR 300, a 40-pound monster you carry on your back like a turtle shell. It has a handset, an antenna that makes you a target, and batteries that die at the worst possible moments. But it might save your life. The communications sergeant, a guy from California, explains that the lieutenant wants you as a bazooka man instead. All the bazooka teams have been killed. Your sergeant argues with the lieutenant, takes it to battalion. When the dust settles, you're a radio man. That first day of combat, the bazooka team you would have joined is wiped out. That could have been you, should have been you. Why them and not you? This question will follow you home, through decades, never answered. November 20th, 1944, 0430 hours. You're moving toward the Mert River, in darkness so complete that you can barely see the man in front of you. The radio on your back feels heavier with each step. Your rifle, you're carrying both rifle and radio, keeps catching on branches. The river is narrow, shallow, barely worth calling a river. You wade across, water filling your boots, cold shooting up your legs. On the far bank, you whisper to another replacement. War isn't bad at all. Haven't even heard a shot. Dawn breaks gray and wet. You're crossing an open field, flat as a table. Nowhere to hide. The order comes down to spread out and lie down. You comply, wondering why. Some men start digging shallow holes. You don't. There's no enemy fire. Why dig? Then, the world explodes. German mortars, pre-registered on this field, begin their deadly work. They're bracketing, walking shells back and forth in a pattern designed to catch everyone. A shell lands to your right. The man there disintegrates. You call to him. No answer. He's just gone. To your left, Lowell starts laughing. Not humor, hysteria. He's hit, bleeding, his mind breaking from the shock. He laughs and laughs while blood runs from multiple wounds. You're pressing your face into the earth, trying to dig with your nose, your chin, your entire body trying to merge with the ground. Shells land close enough to shower you with dirt. The concussions feel like punches to your entire body. Can you taste the dirt in your mouth? Can you feel your heart hammering so hard it hurts? Your bladder wants to let go. Your bowels clench. Every muscle is rigid with terror. This is what combat really is. Lying helpless while random death falls from the sky.
Let's go! Move forward!
Someone's shouting. Men are getting up, running forward. Do you stay down? Every instinct screams to stay flat, to not present a target, but others are moving. If you stay here alone, you'll die alone. You force yourself up and run. Your legs feel disconnected from your body. You're running through more explosions, through smoke, through chaos. Ahead, soldiers have reached a raised road embankment. They're screaming something at you.
Mines! You're in a minefield!
You freeze, but then you realize freezing might kill you. What if you're standing on a mine right now, but running might trigger one? Other men are still moving through the field. Some step wrong. They disappear in mountains of dirt and flesh, their screams cutting through the artillery noise. What do? Stand still? Run? Walk carefully? There's no right answer. Only lucky or dead. You walk forward, each step expecting to be your last. Somehow, God, luck, destiny, you reach the embankment without triggering a mine. Someone offers you a cigarette. You don't smoke, but you take it with shaking hands. As you light it, you hear the distinctive whistle of an incoming mortar. You look down. Between your feet, literally between your boots, sits an unexploded mortar shell. It's 0700 hours. You've been in combat for 2.5 hours. You nearly died at least 6 times, and the day has just begun. The rest of that first day blurs together, moving through woods, firing at shapes that might be Germans, might be trees. Your captain using your radio to call in artillery. The strange realization that you're now directing death onto other human beings. giving coordinates that will turn a map grid into a killing field. That night, you need to dig a foxhole, but which way are the Germans? No one seems sure. You dig into a hillside, clever you think, making a cave for extra protection. It rains. The hole collapses, burying you to your shoulders in muddy earth. You spend the night trapped, wet, miserable, learning that clever gets you killed in combat. Welcome to the infantry. This is your life now. November through December 1944. While the world watches the Battle of the Bulge, you're fighting in the Colmar Pocket. 4 German divisions holding a bridgehead west of the Rhine. It's not as famous as the Bulge, but the dying is just as real. Your company moves from village to village in Alsace. Each one potentially defended, potentially mined, potentially nothing. You learn to read terrain like your life depends on it, because it does. That church steeple is a sniper's nest. That pile of rubble blocks machine gun fields of fire. That innocent-looking road is zeroed for artillery. Your radio becomes your identity. While others fire rifles, you're the captain's voice. Calling for artillery, coordinating with other platoons, reporting to battalion. The 40-pound weight becomes normal. You learn to sleep with it as a pillow, to run with it bouncing against your spine. Anti-Semitism follows you into combat. Someone leaves a yarmulke on your sleeping bag in Strasbourg, a clever reminder that you're different, unwanted. When you confront the group, threatening to kick the hell out of whoever did it, no one admits responsibility. You know it was the sergeant from California, the one you're supposed to trust. Strange thing is, weeks later, he becomes your friend. War makes hypocrites of everyone. One night, attacking toward a chateau, your captain leads you across a snow-covered field. The Germans have set a barn on fire to illuminate your approach. You're outlined against snow, perfect targets. Machine guns open up. The captain goes forward and disappears. You're alone in that field all night. German tanks somewhere ahead, afraid to move, afraid to call out. At dawn, you crawl back. The captain is dead. If you'd followed him another 10 yards, you'd be dead too. Why did you stop where you did? What instinct held you back? These are the margins that separate living from dying. 10 yards, 10 seconds, turning left instead of right. Your company shrinks daily. You started with 70 or 80 men. As fast as replacements come up, you lose people. They arrive at night, and by morning they're gone, dead or injured. You stop learning names. What's the point? They won't be around long enough to matter. Food becomes memory. Official rations are theoretical. K rations when they reach you, nothing when they don't. When you capture a nice house, you find a chicken, kill it, and fry everything. You discover potatoes and wine in cellars. While others drink, you watch. You've still never tasted alcohol. Can you feel the cold? It's not just temperature. It's wet cold that penetrates every layer, freezes your feet in your boots, makes your fingers too numb to work your rifle bolt. You haven't been warm, truly warm, in weeks. You've forgotten what dry socks feel like. Christmas 1944. You're in a small Alsatian village. Your unit is undermanned as always, but for one night, in whatever shelter you found, you're almost human. Tomorrow you'll attack again, but tonight you rest. January 1945. Your regiment is placed in defensive positions in the Vosges Mountains. After weeks of attacking, you're now holding the line while other units maneuver. It should be easier. It isn't. You're living in holes dug into frozen earth on a mountaintop. The Germans are on the opposite mountain. Between you is a valley that neither side enters. A no man's land where only patrols and the dead venture. Your captain, not the one who died, his replacement, has a better hole with logs for a roof. The telephone switchboard is also in his hole, and you take turns manning it, grateful for any excuse to be somewhere with overhead cover. The captain and company sergeant sleep there sometimes too. One night, you're on switchboard duty. The captain and sergeant sleep inches away. The field phone rings. Charlie Company, Meyers speaking.
Myers?
Yes, Meyers speaking.
Hello, kid.
Your brother is on the other end of the line. He's traced you across France from his base near Paris, gotten a pass, hitchhiked to the front. He's in Ribeauville, at the foot of the mountain. Can you believe it? In the middle of a war, in mountains where men die daily from shells or cold or snipers. Your brother has found you. He wants to come up immediately. You tell him to wait for the morning supply jeep. Safer, though nothing's really safe. He arrives the next morning, spit and polish Air Force lieutenant. Clean uniform, shaved face. You're embarrassed by your appearance, filthy, bearded. Uniform stiff with dirt and other things you don't think about. You show him around like it's a tourist attraction. The Germans are 50 yards that way. He can't understand why you're standing in the open if Germans are that close. Air Corps and infantry live in different wars. He has a wonderful sleeping bag, clean and warm. He shares it with you for one night in your hole. You're grateful and resentful simultaneously. It seems like he's playing at war while you're living it, but he's your brother, and he came to find you, and that means everything. Stars and Stripes, the Army newspaper, picks up the story. Somehow it becomes a tale of your brother parachuting from his plane and landing in your foxhole, staying 10 days. The Courier News, your local paper, publishes this fiction. Your mother receives calls. What a miracle! Everyone loves the story except you, who knows the truth is both less dramatic and more meaningful. He didn't fall from the sky. He searched for you, found you, reminded you that somewhere beyond this frozen hell, family waits. February 1945. Your regiment is pulled completely off the line, sent back into France about 100 miles for rest and training. You'll spend 3 weeks in a little village, preparing for the Rhine crossing everyone knows is coming. The first day in Belleville, you see an old woman washing clothes in the village fountain. Something makes you approach her. Maybe it's the loneliness, the need for human contact that isn't about killing or dying. You speak German. She speaks German and French. Through this shared language, you begin talking. She tells you about 5 foster children she cares for, war orphans. Some whose parents are dead, others whose families can't care for them. The government pays her to raise them. Among them is a 7-year-old orphan named Danielle Jolie. Something happens when you meet this child. There's no logic to it, no explanation that makes sense. This orphan boy and you, a 19-year-old soldier, form an instant, inexplicable bond. It's love, immediate, overwhelming, incomprehensible. Every morning, Danielle waits outside your billet. The other soldiers announce his arrival. Hey Myers, that little boy is waiting for you. You take him to the chow line in the schoolyard. The cooks, charmed by this tiny French boy, give you extra food. You sit in the corner of the schoolyard, sharing breakfast from your mess kit, unable to speak each other's language, but somehow communicating everything important. Can you picture the scene? Can you feel what passes between you? You're barely out of childhood yourself, but war has aged you decades. This boy has lost everything: parents, home, history. You've lost innocence, friends, the ability to sleep without nightmares. Somehow, in each other, you find something restored. You teach him one word: cake. He teaches you one word: gâteau. This is your entire shared vocabulary, but you spend hours together. You can't speak, but you giggle and laugh and point. He eats 2 or 3 meals a day with you. Every evening, you visit the house. Play with him. You give him your fatigue jacket, the one you'd modified with a German lamb's wool vest sewn inside that you'd found in a uniform factory in Strasbourg. It's way too big for him, but he wears it constantly. 3 weeks pass like 3 minutes. The night before your unit leaves, you visit one last time. You tell Madame Thévenot to tell Daniel you won't see him anymore. Tell him to be a good boy. Tell him to grow up. The next morning, your convoy rolls out. Daniel stands with a few people from the town watching. He doesn't wave. You don't wave. You just look at each other until the trucks turn the corner. Do you think you'll ever see him again? In your heart, you know this is goodbye forever. Wars don't allow for reunions. Orphans disappear into the machinery of reconstruction. You'll go home, if you survive, and he'll grow up. And that will be that. Except, it won't be. March 1945. The Rhine River stretches before you in darkness. This is Germany's last major natural barrier, their historic border, their final hope of stopping the Allied advance. Every soldier knows this crossing will be bloody. The Germans will fight hardest for their own soil. Navy engineers have assault boats ready. Somehow the Navy is here, hundreds of miles from any ocean. Everything is planned, coordinated, prepared. Late at night, you move down to the river. As you start going down the hill to the river itself, all hell breaks loose. German artillery, pre-sighted on the crossing points, turns the riverbank into an inferno. Shells burst everywhere. The careful organization dissolves into chaos. You watch in disbelief as a great many of your people panic. Instead of going down to the boats, they take off, run back up the hill. Your company commander disappears into the darkness, running away, abandoning his command. The sergeants are gone. Your best friend has vanished. Everyone takes off. What do? The attack has failed before it began. No one would blame you for following. You're a replacement, not even a real member of this unit. Why die for men who insult you for being a Jew? Then you hear someone calling your name. The executive officer, the second in command, stands by a boat, waving you on. He's not running. Your regimental commander, a full colonel, holds a pistol to an engineer's head, forcing him to drive a boat. You have seconds to decide, safety or duty, life or honor. You jump in the boat with the executive officer and take off across the river. Can you feel the river beneath you? The Rhine is wide here, swift, cold. German shells bracket your boat. Some boats get sunk, some get hit. Your boat gets rocked violently. The lieutenant who was the executive officer gets banged against the boat, hurting his leg. Somehow your boat reaches the far shore. Few men made it across from your company. You're essentially alone in enemy territory, but you keep moving toward your objective. You capture 11 Germans who surrender immediately. They weren't expecting Americans so soon. You give them to somebody else to take back. You push into the town itself. German tanks are holding up one of your platoons. You direct artillery on them, calling in coordinates. Hours later, engineers will build a pontoon bridge. The rest of your company will cross safely, shamefaced. For this action, for not running when everyone else did. You'll later receive the Silver Star for gallantry in action. But what matters more is simpler. You didn't chicken out. When tested, you moved forward. Spring 1945. The Wehrmacht is collapsing, but the Siegfried Line, massive fortifications built along Germany's western border, still stands. Concrete pillboxes, dragon's teeth tank barriers, pre-registered artillery zones. This is Germany's last-ditch defensive position. You're advancing with two close friends you've made, an Italian from a large wealthy family from southern New Jersey, and a country boy from Georgia who's violently racist and makes anti-Semitic comments, yet would die protecting you. 3 men who shouldn't be friends, thrown together by war's random mathematics. Suddenly, German machine guns open up. You're caught in the open. The 3 of you dive, frantically digging a hole in minutes. It's maybe 18 inches deep for the three of you, barely enough for one man. The German gunner has your position perfectly sighted. You're lying on your back, head pressed against the earth, and bullets come right across your nose, hitting in the dirt. He can't get any lower to hit you, but if you raise your head even an inch, you're dead. For 2 days and 2 nights, you're pinned down in that hole. No food, no water. Unable to move. Bodies around your position are beginning to smell. Your redneck friend from Georgia, pressed against you in this grave-like hole, makes one of the most remarkable statements. I wonder what Jew built this stinkin' Siegfried line. Can you process the absurdity? You're possibly hours from death, sharing a hole with a violent racist who's also your brother in arms, and he blames Jews for the German fortifications trying to kill you all. You look at him and laugh. What else can you do? The second night, in darkness, the three of you finally make a run for it. Somehow all three make it back to your lines. April 1945. Your Achilles tendon, weakened by months of marching, tears. You can't walk anymore. The medics evacuate you to a field hospital. For the first time since November, you're out of combat. The war is going so well and so fast that they can't give you trucks to take you back to your unit. You're stuck in a hospital as the war ends on a certain day. When everybody starts running around firing their weapons in celebration, you crawl under your bunk. You haven't survived this long to be killed by celebration fire. When you finally catch up to your unit in Salzburg, Austria, they've taken Berchtesgaden, Hitler's mountain retreat, and Nuremberg without you. The culminating victories you'd earned through months of combat happened while you were in a hospital bed. Summer 1945 through January 1946, you're part of the Army of Occupation in a little village, Heringen, in Kreis Hersfeld, right along the border with the Russian zone. You've been made a mail clerk, which exempts you from guard duty. They also make you a Jeep driver. You have an Army driver's license from that blurred period of training you can't quite remember. January 1946, Fort Monmouth, New Jersey. You go through discharge processing. A bunch of different desks, filling out papers, signing forms. You walk out. Look for a bus to the train station. Get a commuter train heading toward home. The most transformative experience of your life ends with you standing on a suburban train platform. For 47 years, you tell everyone about Daniel Joly. All the time you tell your wife, your children, all your friends about this little boy. Everyone knows the name. He becomes family mythology, the orphan boy who shared your mess kit in a schoolyard in Belleville. The GI Bill that should have paid for medical school has expired. The statute of limitations passed while you were fighting. Medical schools have quotas limiting Jewish enrollment. You're rejected repeatedly. Finally, at age 32, when New Jersey opens its first medical school at Seton Hall, you're in the charter class. When you start medical school, you have 2 children. When you finish, you have 3. The medals, Silver Star, Bronze Star, others, sit in a drawer. Your uncle was right. All those medals and a nickel will get you on the subway in New York. They don't open doors or pay bills. You're 68 years old. You finally tell your wife, I'd love to go back. She encourages the trip. 2 weeks before departure, she has a dream. She sees you finding Daniel, and he's not a child anymore. He's a grown man with a family, and you're all opening champagne. Sunday morning, Mother's Day in France. You drive into Belleville. The schoolyard looks so small now. 2 men are talking. Sunday morning talk. Through gestures and broken language, you make them understand. American soldier, 1945, looking for an old woman who cared for orphans 47 years ago. Around the corner comes a beautiful red-headed French woman. The men explain your presence. She grows excited. Madame Thévenot, you suddenly remember. Oui, oui, she responds. Through an English woman who translates at a corner restaurant, you learn Daniel is married, lives in Nancy 15 miles away. His older daughter is getting married next month. When this red-headed woman was a baby, Daniel used to push her in a baby carriage. Phone calls are made. The translator turns to you. He has a question. He wants to know how old you are. You answer, 68. She speaks into the phone, then he wants to see you. Within hours, you're at his house. There's a man standing by his little gate. Daniel Jolie, Daniel Jolie, Daniel Jolie, you say. What else can you say? Daniel doesn't remember you specifically. He was only 7. But he remembers going through a food line with an American soldier. He remembers learning the word cake. His 2 daughters say that growing up, he would tell them stories about an American soldier who taught him the word cake and gave him a jacket. They're opening champagne, just like the dream. His wife Rosemary cries the hardest. Through the interpreter, she explains, "My husband's always been sad and very alone because he has no past. When that phone call came, now he has somebody who knew him in the past." Daniel turns to your wife. "Don't ever let him forget me again." Your wife responds, "Do you think that man who has loved you for 47 years would ever forget you?" As the 20th century closes, Maurice and Daniel email each other. He writes in French. Maurice writes in English. A translation program converts between them. One of the biggest thrills of Maurice's life was getting an email from Daniel, the orphan boy and the soldier, both grandfathers now, still unable to speak each other's language, but bound by something that transcends words. In 1995, the village of Belleville gave Maurice a dinner and presented him with a plaque. He presented a wreath at their war memorial, the first American soldier in 50 years to come back. The war left its marks, but it also left Daniel. It left the knowledge that when tested, Maurice didn't chicken out at the Rhine. It left friendships with men who hated his religion, but would die protecting him. It left poetry written in foxholes, proof that humanity survives even in mechanized slaughter. The medals didn't open doors or pay bills, but they represented something else. Proof that an Orthodox Jewish boy from Plainfield, who'd never eaten outside his home, could become a warrior when his country needed one, even when that country didn't always welcome him. Maurice fought 2 wars, one against German forces, another against American prejudice. He won both by surviving, by succeeding, by refusing to let hatred define him. When Maurice returned to Belleville in 1995, the mayor made speeches, the children sang, but what mattered was Daniel, standing beside him. 2 men joined by 3 weeks in 1945 that defined both their lives. Maurice Meyers went to war as a boy who'd never eaten outside his kosher home. He returned as a man who'd walked through minefields, called in death from the sky. The boy who left Plainfield in 1943 never came home. In his place came someone who understood that survival is a gift and courage is a choice. As an old man, when asked about the war, Maurice tells 2 stories with equal emphasis: crossing the Rhine when others ran, and finding Daniel after 47 years. One is about courage in combat, the other is about love transcending time. Both are about what makes us human when the world tries to make us something else. This has been the story of Maurice Meyers, one American soldier among 16 million, whose individual war reminds us that history is personal, that every statistic was someone's child, that every hero was also afraid, and that sometimes love wins in the end. May we never forget any of it, the horror or the humanity, the hatred or the love, the dying or the living, the 7-year-old orphan or the 19-year-old soldier who found family in each other when the world almost ended. This story can be shared thanks to a partnership with the Rutgers University Oral History Archives. If you've got a story you'd like their help in sharing, visit oralhistory.rutgers.edu That's oralhistory.rutgers.edu. Visit povworldwar2.com for podcast updates and more. That's povww2.com. I'm Fernando Prieto. Thanks for listening. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a positive review or rating. It actually makes a huge difference in helping people find these stories and only takes a few seconds. This story can be shared thanks to a partnership with the Rutgers University Oral History Archives. If you've got a story you'd like their help in sharing, visit oralhistory.rutgers.edu. That's oralhistory.rutgers.edu. Visit povworldwar2.com for podcast updates and more. That's povww2.com. I'm Fernando Prieto. Thanks again for listening.